On the Facebooks, as you do, or not the Facebooks, on the Discords.
That's
The
it,
Discord
please. Yeah,
forums.
we should put a
Yeah.
Facebook group together. We'll put that at the top of a list of terrible ideas.
Like I don't have enough things to do. All right, let's see here.
I promise you, I'll check it once a year. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
twice a year. Once for my birthday, once for my anniversary. That's it.
I don't know how Facebook is still around anymore, really, because like all the people I know barely use it anymore.
Yeah, I only use it to check on like relatives on occasion or something like
I've had
that.
to
But yeah,
add
it's
my Instagram to my Facebook because his aunt does not have anything but Facebook and only understands Facebook and refuses to do anything else. And we're like, fine.
Zuckerberg is keeping it going so my Aunt Cindy can, live her life.
Well, I saw recently where I guess the parent company Meta is losing its ass.
Yeah, I mean, they got Instagram still. No.
Instagram's fine.
Is Instagram keeping it alive?
Yes.
I would have to assume so. But definitely not Meta.
Yes.
I don't use Instagram really or TikTok because I look on there and I'm like, okay, you're not even real. You're not even real. Like it'll throw up stuff in, like when I'm on the homepage and it's like, you should like this person. And I'm like, that person's AI. I'm not liking that person. This
George, I found you on TikTok.
For you?
Yes, I'm friends with him on TikTok.
There you go.
Yeah, I only use TikTok to follow thoughts.
There you go.
And even then, I'm like, are you even real or are you just generated? I don't even know anymore. What's going on?
There you go.
Blurring the line between truth and fiction.
All right, as I share way too much with chat, although thankfully there's nobody in right now. All right, let's see here. Who wants to give us a recap? Whose turn is it?
It is my turn.
It's my turn.
Are you sure? It's been a while. You can go ahead. It was a short one.
Y'all want to fight for it, like with a knife or something?
No, I have not done it in a long time, so it feels like mine.
It was Mike's turn last week. It's Alex's turn this week. And then it's Rick's turn.
Oh, I better pay attention this week then.
I was about to say, if only we had somebody whose job it was, though.
I was thinking about it already. Don't worry.
Good job.
He was ready for it. So, last session was a lot of deliberation after the Senate vote. Was this a House vote or a Senate vote?
The House voted for it like immediately, and and then it went to the Senate, and so we'll deal because like when you guys met with the other heroes, it was still that evening. It was still night.
Yeah. So it hasn't been the Senate vote yet.
Well, it will be when we start, but as of the last session, it hasn't been.
Got it. Perfect. So this was taking place after the House vote, where the party raced down to Washington to plead their case. Upon returning back, we came to Haman Tower. Is that the right term?
That is correct. That is your tower that you own.
Fantastic. Haman Tower. We got back to Haman Tower.
Named after the great immortal Paul Heyman.
Nice.
When outside, we were welcomed by by at least a couple dozen supers, omnihumans. Different groups from across the U.S. Have come to speak with us on the matter of the Registration Act. So Lazarus got to meeting with their leaders, and they asked to speak privately, which they did. Everyone else got to meet with some of the other omnihumans to figure out, their place in the world and all that such. And it's good. Been basically a very fun, wholesome time up until when the other leaders, I am trying to recall their names, but meeting with Dr. Droid and Lazarus,
You met with Pyroneer.
Pyroneer,
who is the leader of a larger team up in New York known as Vigilance.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also met with Starshine, who is the leader of a smaller team based in Chicago called the Sentinels.
Got it. Central and East Coast. Thanks. Let's see. So, meeting with them, they went into detail about an investigation they have been concocting, and with the help of Dr. Droid, they were able to amass an exceptional dossier on corruption inside the U.S. government. It seems that most of the people who work in the executive, legislative, and judicial branches have some kind of influence, most often foreign. Going from there, Lazarus, Pioneer, and what was her name one more time? I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna say it 3 times.
Starshine.
Starshine.
Here, I'll
Lazarus,
write it
Pioneer,
in.
Starshine.
Starshine.
There you go.
Here you go.
Lazarus, Pioneer, and Starshine decided that there really should be more. That at this point, with this amount of evidence, the situation with the Omnihumans is only a fraction of the true problem. Deliberating with them, Lazarus decided that those in the government should be disposed some way, shape, or form. Of course, how that went about was the topic of another hour and a half of conversation, from what I recall. After bidding Pioneer and Starshine adieu, Lazarus brought the team up and started talking with them on the topic. And we deliberated in multiple directions, using info from Dr. Droid and such to figure out our next steps. And I'm trying to recall what we ended on. I think we have someone to go towards. I'm just trying. I'd call helpline at this point.
We had a couple different options. We were going to see if we could sort of delay us having to take action by sort of making a legal challenge to it.
Yes,
Right,
trying
thank you.
to draw out the campaign even
Mhm.
longer, as I try desperately to close it out and get it to a point where we can end the campaign.
Yeah, no.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You guys are like, well, we'd like to talk it out more.
I mean, we haven't taken any action yet. We could just rip the president in half. That's fine too.
We could do that.
I'll take the legs and
And then the
Option?
campaign, it would be over. Because everything else.
Well, no, that's the thing. The first campaign would be over.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got material for days for what comes next.
Oh, okay.
Because in the second campaign, you have to navigate. Well, we didn't want to be politicians, but we kind of are, because we have a say in deciding what's going to happen going forward. You know, you have to ensure that there's free elections, and you have to better vet, all the candidates and stuff. I mean, it's...
And crush resistance.
Yes, and at the same time, you have to handle the threats that pose up while, the U.S. is at its weak point.
Mm-hmm. Dantalion, I hope that you look good in camo.
he doesn't. Sadly.
I mean, at some point,
green's not his color.
At some point, you'll have Dr. Lazarus looking at Dantalion and saying, "Dantalion, smash." In the second campaign.
Listen, I'm gonna demand a high price. I definitely think Dantalion's gonna take Ohio or something if he helps with this.
You can have it. I've been there. If it's not, a Ohio State football game, there's nothing to do there.
The
All right, the zoo. I'm sorry, the Columbus Zoo is the one thing to do. So you know what? If you want Ohio, you can take it.
Dantalion Luther, who suddenly says, "My needs are small. Australia."
Right? Yeah. Well, U.S. doesn't own Australia yet, but we could talk. Let's not dismiss that out of hand.
So, at this point, we are still deciding on what operation to do.
More meetings tomorrow.
Lazarus was going for the big, a big swing in. We can also do legal deliberation if the party feels more comfortable.
Well,
I think that'll just buy us time.
one thing to remember, as you left it with the Sentinels and Vigilance, was that they were ready to move the next day once the government, tried to enforce registration. And from the way the legislation is written, it takes effect the next day.
Yeah.
And it gives a timeline of once it's signed into law, that night, where it's going to, you have to register starting at, you have a window, if you have superpowers, you have a window of 8 to 10 a.m. where you either have to go in and register or set up an appointment to register at a later time. So as of 10 a.m., anyone who hasn't done that is technically a fugitive from the law.
Yeah.
How interesting. That's going to hurt our karma a little bit, I think.
And so when you discussed it with the other two supergroups, they were prepared to resist and resist hard if once the government comes after them at 10:01 a.m.
We're fighting. Yes.
You even
We're
gave
overthrowing the government.
You even gave them like some kind of,
I said if we're following through, I'm going to message them New World Order.
Yeah.
So So with that stated, Minuteman, Dentalian, and Scripture, I want to hear your opinion. We can start this tomorrow, and that will be the best chance we have. Or we can go slow and try and be more deliberate, but if things go sour, you might have to be avoiding a missile strike.
I think I could survive a missile strike.
Okay, we may not.
As
Fair.
long as I'm doing it with you guys, I believe in us.
Temperance is over there in the corner not saying much, but she's like thinking, I could probably survive a missile strike.
She's switching. She's thinking about switching her look from goth to a little more punk in order to with the whole anti-government thing.
Go with the whole.
I could probably reverse the effects if it did happen.
Okay, all right. There is way too much deliberation.
So we're ready for if there's a missile strike.
Right. Listen, I'm just going to my southern roots of being a redneck where I don't appreciate the government.
She pulls out a Confederate flag, like, let's go.
Okay, hold on.
I don't want. Nope, they wanted slaves, and I don't agree. That was not appropriate. I wish there was something a little similar though.
All right. While Scripture goes off about Scripture goes off about how the South will rise again, I'm gonna go and get a drink. I'll be right back.
We get to vamp. We're unsupervised.
Well, I could. How about the? Well, we had bunches of flags back in my day. We had there's the "Don't Tread on Me" flag, which the segmented snake.
We need to get one of those. We need to get one of those.
We should focus on the issue at hand then.
No step on snake.
Yeah.
Yes. As for your question, Lazarus, I would very much like to fight. I presented the option in the interest of simply making sure you understand it's on the table. But I prefer the direct route.
I greatly appreciate your. I greatly appreciate you considering our feelings, though I feel as though that I should be agreeing with you. I should be agreeing with your true intentions. We should be going for it. We should be going for it fast. Minuteman, what about you? We all need to be in agreement.
I believe that this is it. That the time, if the time for negotiation has passed, then I believe we need to. I agree. We need to kind of rally. We need to rally the troops, so to speak. They really have. I mean, they're really giving us no option, and they're not even giving us the capacity to listen at this point. Listen.
The corruption does.
It seems like their minds have already been made up. And we need to stand. If we're going to do this, we need to attack the root of it. We can't just go. I mean, I know you saying, Lazarus, that these people in Congress are, they're part of it. We need to find the root. We need to go to the root. We need to go find the source of it, rather than attacking, rather than just going after the essentially the brand, if we're going to basically prune we can't just prune the tree. We just have to basically, this tree of corruption, we need to cut it at the trunk.
I understand that. Chopping the trunk down though takes a lot more time. At the very least, if we're looking to pass inspection, then we should cut off the dead stuff.
We
now.
should certainly begin planning how we intend to move forward. I propose this. Tomorrow, before the deadline, we gather the other superheroes, the other omni-humans here. I can open a portal to hell, and I can once everyone's there, I can open another portal at the U.S. Capitol, since I've been there before. This would allow us to... They believe all of us are hours away. This would give us the element of surprise and allow us to move all of us quickly.
Absolutely.
We should discuss with the other leaders. What do you think of their... What do you think of our chances combined? We face steep obstacles.
I think our chances will be the best they'll ever be. The U.S. government is indeed a sleeping bear. You're only gonna get one good hit.
Does anyone... Well, we should keep it as a tentative plan for now. We have no way to know if the other teams will agree to this.
They are interested in making tough decisions, and Pioneer and Starshine have shown to be open to that. So I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them.
We should focus on the specifics then. What are our short-term goals, and how are we to achieve them? If we occupy the capital, that will make it much easier, but there are some difficulties there. National Guard has a significant presence there. And there would undoubtedly be casualties.
There will.
And Lazarus, that was one thing that the leaders of the other two groups discussed with you, is about how we need to not, have so many casualties amongst, the soldiers who are just, basically following orders and doing their jobs. Because it's, if there's a high death toll amongst the military, it could, generate sympathy for the government within the citizenry.
As well as weaken other military, which could be problematic in other ways.
Have any mind control or like shape changing abilities, do we?
That would appear not.
That would be a negative.
No.
What are our
That would be
objectives? Are we
no.
simply to seize all of the supposedly corrupt politicians and do what then?
I think there's too many of those. What a real good idea is to secure the head of the Department of Defense and the president, because
So those are our objectives then.
the military aren't going to make swings at one if they're shooting at the president, and two, the president is saying hold your fire.
So far, our plan is thus. We gather the other superhero teams here. I open a portal to hell and we all go through. Once everyone's there, I open another portal at the U.S. Capitol.
Point of fact, the way Dentalian's powers work, the minute you open up another portal back to Earth, it's going to appear right where you left.
Oh, I can only go right back where I left.
You don't have the ability to just show up anywhere on Earth. It's a little OP.
Well, I figured if it was somewhere I'd been. But that's fair. All right. We'll go back. We need a way to gather everyone and figure out a way to transport to the capital, if that's our objective.
Got it.
Afterwards, we'll have to move on to, likely, the White House, or I don't know. Where does your Minister of Defense sit? Or what is your head of the Department of
I
Defense?
believe that'd be the White House off the top of my head.
That would be the Secretary of Defense, and that would be the
Oh,
Pentagon.
Pentagon,
That would
probably.
be
Yep.
the Pentagon. Yeah.
Pentagon. Okay. Dang. Yeah, we had to hit the Pentagon. It hit the fucking Pentagon.
Unfortunately, this won't be easy.
No.
We should pick our targets carefully.
And Dr. Lazarus, I won't even make you roll a reason for this. You know that attacking the Pentagon would be definitely frowned on by the citizenry, given the Pentagon's unique history in regards to, attack.
Yeah, no. We gotta make them come to us. Alright, let's just aim for the president then. Because the president can overrule any other situation going on, and I'm sure we can coerce them properly. Maybe not coerce them, but make sure they speak the honest truth. I mean,
So-
we have the data for what they're doing. If we can get in there and secure, and we know that the media is able to be corralled.
So we release the information on the corruption to the public. We then move to. We don't quite have a plan yet. We then move to root out that corruption by seizing likely either the president or some other seat of power. Seems, unfortunately, a long shot either way.
And that was
We can't really do any kind of we can't go. We need to actually.
that was a big thing. The other leaders, the other two groups talked about, Lazarus, was about how to make it look the best amongst the public. It would look better if the government attacked y'all first rather than y'all making the first move.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We will.
Right.
How about we should Undoubtedly, they will come here tomorrow, just hours from now. Honestly, we will have to hold off whatever forces they send to detain us. Afterwards, perhaps we just start with Vanguard City. If we can remove the presence of likely the National Guard from Vanguard City, it would give us at least a foothold. After, of course, they attack us.
Pushing back against the National Guard would be pretty difficult. Are you comfortable punching through a tank?
I've never tried before. Sounds interesting.
I think we also should think about how we're going to get the information out. Maybe we need to pre-record tonight with the other two groups, a recorded message to put on all the social medias we can, putting all the information out there.
Indeed. The public needs to know in order for them to be on our side.
Have it timed to be a few minutes before we know they're going to attack us.
Let's say perhaps 15 minutes before the deadline.
Yes.
Well, hold on. Why not? Perhaps 30, since information doesn't always travel that fast.
Very true, but the internet is very fast.
So we'll let them know the plan then.
So we at least know for sure what our first phase would be to release this information and then be prepared to repel whatever forces that come to detain us.
Lazarus, give me a reason check. You just need a green.
I believe in you.
Sorry, I'm opening it up.
Thinking.
Thinking about it.
Neurons are firing, synapses are clicking.
Universal table.
And it's amazing.
Amazing.
Yellow.
All right, you got a yellow result. Lazarus, you start doing the math in your head, and you know that as soon as you release that information across the social networks, that, well, in recent history, you know that the federal government has contacted social networks to have things removed and people banned that they didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And so this thing, once it makes its way to the social networks, is going to be scrubbed pretty quick. But
Well,
you also know that, once it's up there, somebody's going to download it and record it. Some people are, and take screenshots and do all this other stuff, and download whatever you guys try to upload.
You can likely use your cell phone network for this, at least to get everyone in Vanguard City to get the information out.
That's an interesting idea.
Right.
They may shut it
Not just
down.
put it up on one, just put it up on all of them.
What would it take for me to be able to try and do like an emergency text to everybody
You could do it. You could do it as like a software update. You could push it through without any problem at all. But remember, your network only covers Vanguard City.
Right, but that's where we are. So that would at least cover the short term. From there, the information will spread. We can leave the information out both a wide net on the
Well,
on the
what about
internet.
Dr. Droid? I mean, he has? Well, Dr. Droid, he has capabilities. Goes, he can access network. He can access networks far beyond Vanguard City. Correct? I mean, he's able to.
I believe there are limits to
He
what
could
he
also.
do
He could.
It greatly depends on what networks is able to access. Anything that I own, I should be able to make sure to get him into. Other networks is much more difficult and much more time-consuming, and definitely could be putting us in the wrong if I'm hacking into Verizon or something.
Lazarus with a 70.
Just out of curiosity.
Hang on a minute, man. Hang on.
Just out of curiosity.
Hang on, minute,
Okay.
man. I'm talking to Lazarus. Give me a moment. Lazarus.
No problem.
With a 70, you would know that Dr. Droid would be able to put it in places where it could be easily accessible by the public, but not necessarily, visible right off the bat. Stuff that, it would take the government longer to shut down. Things like, the deep web, or things like BitTorrent.
There we go. That'd be good, yeah.
Because it would take the government longer to have that scrubbed.
That's an idea. We could do that, and we can just include that in a message on my provider plan.
So we release it on all fronts.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dr. Droid released to areas that are not easily accessible. We'll use traditional media and social media to reach out as far as we can, as well as getting Vanguard City to message out using your network.
Scripture, I needed to start writing letters to everybody in the U.S. You gotta get the word out.
I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna get a script, and I'm gonna start making Pinterest posts.
Pinterest.
Perfect. There you go. The one place the government hasn't gotten to.
The government is not more powerful than Pinterest. We all know this.
Yeah, Minuteman wanted to say something.
Might I interject for a moment? We seem to. Aren't we neglecting something? We do have one of the spy satellite that's still hovering above this very facility. Correct?
We are in my safe office, and the only devices that are in here are ones that have been set up by me. So,
unless, of course, one of the heroes is working against us.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that satellite is still hovering above. I mean, last time I heard, I think Dr. Droid said that satellite is still hovering directly above us. Is that?
The satellite's most likely tracking any major things. I'm not sure what their resolution they currently have set to. That hunk of junk. I'm not sure if they'll be able to track us physically, us people through the satellite. It'd probably be more on, boots on the ground and.
Listen, honestly, with how long ago that thing was probably put up there, it's not going to be the smartest little things ever.
It's probably more keeping track on major things.
Lazarus, you would know that, or you would suspect that satellite has two purposes. One, to monitor communications, and two, which Dr. Droid, well, hang on, go back to number one, which Dr. Droid has already told you. He's ensured that, everything on your network is, everything important on your network is encoded. But like everyday citizenry, there's nothing stopping the government from listening in on their phone conversations. But also, it's there to monitor y'all's location. So, like, if Dantalion goes to Starbucks, they would know that Dantalion is at Starbucks.
Okay.
Nice.
So they know. So they would already know that there was a huge gathering of omni-humans that came here
We
to
can
this to this
suspect,
to
yes,
this
they will be
particular
ready with
to
a.
this building
they would have been
already.
aware. Yeah, they would have been
Yeah.
aware.
They
Already, and the fact that they're
probably,
they're probably already mobilizing as we speak.
They
Indeed.
probably already know because someone probably posted photos on social media. Also, there's cameras
Mm-hmm.
on the streets. They probably already
Yep.
knew.
yeah, I would.
However,
Yep.
so they will likely have all the information we will have at our disposal, if not more. So we know there will be a sizable force coming to detain us, if that's what they plan, and that seems the most likely course of action. So we will release this information in the ways we described, and then we will hold off whatever force comes to detain us. Is that our plan so far?
Good. Seems pretty good so far.
I think it's safe to say yes. Yeah.
If we post this information and then they show up, we can definitely worry for it as they're trying to shut us down, and everyone will dislike U.S. government for that.
Yes, if we get this information out in the right way, it will
Mm-hmm.
look favorably at us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yep.
see if we can. I'll try and work with Dr. Droid so the next software patch that comes out tonight has a pop up on unlock that lists off. We'll say a hefty bite of information. We definitely need to discredit the president and maybe Secretary of Defense if he's in there, or
Which she is.
which she is.
Just about
We should also
everybody.
include those who drafted the legislation. Yeah.
Yeah, just about everybody in the president's cabinet, leaders of Congress, most of the House of Representatives, and most of the Senate. Just about everybody has a corruption file in there.
Got it. Anyone? So I'm not going to give a wall of text, or no one's going to read it. I'm going to focus on the president and the cabinet, maybe Speaker of the House if he's if they're in there.
Like maybe making a
Want to keep it nice and quick. I want to be like, "What's this? What is this on my phone?" And they're like, "Oh, well, cool." And then
Oh,
Perhaps you can work with Dr.
we should
Droid
also
and
make
Gale
a
to prepare
backup
them.
copy of.
why isn't it everywhere?
if Dr. Droid has set it up, I'm sure we have 3 backups. One here, one off location, and one completely off location on a different drive.
He already moved,
Oh,
or he already, because this is something you had asked him last time, was to prepare like an external hard drive full of the
Dantalion is
information,
going to take it to hell.
and then Dantalion was going to hide it in hell.
Oh, perfect.
He's going to leave it on the
Okay.
kitchen counter in hell,
Yeah.
He doesn't have to hide it because then he's not going to remember where he put it.
The Dantalians do not eat.
Yep.
In fact, you get a message on your phone, Lazarus, from Dr. Droid. You get a text from Dr. Droid indicating, first thing he says, this is an encrypted message. And he says, I have prepared the external drive for Mr. Dantalion, and I have also prepared one for your assistant, Gale.
Please, Mr. Dantalion is my father. Call me Duke Dantalion.
This is not a text message to you.
No.
I want to acquire both of those, giving one to Dantalion to store wherever he deems fit, and give one to Gale, saying this is important. Do not let anyone know you have this unless I instruct you otherwise.
And Gale tells you she will put it somewhere we'll know where we'll look. She's going to put it in her underwear drawer.
Perfect. I'm sorry.
All right. Then Dantalion will excuse himself. Very well. I will head to Hell. I'll likely remain there until shortly before our confrontation.
All right, so Dantalion opens a portal and pops into Hell.
Yep.
And it takes him about, it doesn't take him that long, probably about 5 minutes. And then he's back. Another portal opens back up and he steps back through. As he does, Dr. Droid, you hear his voice come into the HQ room, and he says, I'm going to put up a live feed from Channel 7 Action News. The Senate has just voted on the legislation and passed it. It is now heading to the president's office. And he does what he says, like right here, you know, on your little, hang on here. Let me get the ruler. Here on your little, you know, holographic display. Pops up the Channel 7 Action News. You see Allison, the reporter that you guys have mostly dealt with. And her and the anchor are talking about the legislation and it passing the Senate. Just general information, you know. Literally.
Allison's thoughts on it. Is she giving her op-ed?
Allison, no, she's just a reporter. She doesn't do like, she's not somebody like a political pundit that they, you know, bring in to, you know, do propaganda on from either side.
Got it.
They'll have that later after the news when they start running their opinion shows. But yeah, you see a live picture now of the White House, and Allison's describing how, you know, there's a a limo that pulls up and several people get out. You see that among them are the leaders of the House, leaders of the Senate, the majority and minority leader of the Senate, and they're all getting out of the limousine and going into the White House.
That's getting passed.
You should text your friend that we know.
And then Allison says, once we receive official word of the signing, we will alert you. I'm sure the president will go live at that time. So stay tuned to Channel 7 Action News. And then it cuts to commercial, and it's a commercial for for corn dogs.
Nice. Dr. Droid, can you estimate how much time until there will be a confrontation? Assuming that this goes into law, how long until the deadline we will have to register?
The deadline in the legislation, as is public knowledge as of this point, is that you will have a window from between 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning to either appear in person and register or to make an appointment to register at a later date. But that later date will have to be within the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not signing.
So if anyone wishes to get a good night's sleep tonight, I suggest you do so now or soon.
I'll do my best.
All right, y'all.
Or if we have any final preparations.
Power nap, and I'll be back to start doing my Pinterest and my Reddit posts.
There you go.
All right.
Editors. The government is lying to you.
So is there anything you want to convey to Dr. Droid, Lazarus?
No, I'll say start getting the software update ready.
Well, he doesn't know about the software update.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're going to have. I want to put out a update for our flagship devices and anything that we're still supporting.
Royal Cellular.
Yeah, anything on cellular is getting the update, no matter what. When it goes through, it's going to show them a blank screen with the information that the president, that members of the executive branch, and some of the highest members of the Senate are taking such and such funds from, have accepted bribes from such and such and such.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of U.S. corporations. There are overseas interests, foreign governments.
Focus on the foreign governments.
Yes, put the most shocking on display.
Yeah, the most shocking, like if North Korea paid off the president.
And Dr. Droid nods and he goes, "Do you wish me to do anything else?"
See. I also
We should also
want This I also want a copy of this data uploaded to various uh, other sites, torrent sites, dark web, anything, anywhere can get from. If it's data that is on there, then go for it. Oh, and I don't know, make we could actually probably just spam a bunch of. We can actually also create a bunch of bot accounts and just comment on basically like 100,000 posts on just random posts throughout the U.S. with this information. The bots will get flagged after a little bit, but
Indeed, Dr. Dro. We need to get this message out as widely spread as possible in a short amount of time,
that
in ways that can't be immediately shut down by the government.
For the next 24 hours, I want you just posting it anywhere you can. As if you have an account that is not blocked or muted, then it should be posting this information.
I will. I will.
Dark.
Go ahead, Scripture.
I said, especially get it out to the dark web so that it's going to be even harder for them to scrub it off the internet, and then people can still repost it because Reddit will be Reddit.
Yep, you get it to splurge enough, and people will start doing the work for you.
I will also seed copies of the information detailing the corruption on the corporate websites for every corporation that has been involved. It will be easy enough for hackers to find.
Now that's an idea.
And also the general public, when they stumble upon it, be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. I will begin the preparations.
Fantastic.
You truly are a wondrous ally, Dr. Droid. We appreciate your contribution.
Yes, I am, and you are welcome. And he says that sincerely and nods, and then you see him blink out.
I'm going to use the bathroom. I'll be right back. But Lazarus is going to go hit the hay. Be a ready day for tomorrow.
All right.
All right, y'all. We need good sleep tonight so we can overthrow the government. Remember, fuck the government.
Wow. All right. Let me arrange some stuff for a second here.
The very niche religious punk rock anti-government crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Dantalion has free time, he'll return to Hell. Spend time there.
Okay.
Yeah, when you get culty religions, you kind of get it. But also when you are in the public, you kind of figure the people who are gonna go to hell, almost 100% are politicians.
We do have a lot of them.
I can see why.
All right. So you wake up in the morning. We'll go. Hang on just a second. We'll go over here to the Hammond Tower map. Is there anything you're doing? We're going to say you guys wake up about 7 a.m.
So we got an hour or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna just start limbering up and doing my stretches because I know today is gonna be a long day.
And this morning, hang on, let me see where I put her.
Oh, he's lurking down there in the corner. He's hiding in the bushes outside Hammond Tower.
Actually, hang on. Before we get to that, Dantalion.
Yep.
When you go to just, visit home, so to speak.
Yes.
Is there anything you go over with, like, say, the devil or anything like that?
He wouldn't bother the devil with that. He would, he would consider it. He would know the important stuff. I mean, if it's proper, I guess that's some the kind of thing he would normally alert him for, then yes, he would. But I don't know. I don't figure Dantalion doesn't talk to the devil all that often.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, he's mostly just preparing, making sure everything's unfrozen well in his realm and such.
All right. We'll say everybody but Dantalion has gotten up and is gathered around eating breakfast. And then Dantalion appears in time for breakfast.
Yep.
And as you guys are eating, Gale walks in and addresses you, Lazarus. Sir.
He's in the bathroom.
Ah, very well. And she just kind of crosses her hands and waits. You see there's a phone in her hand, and she just kind of folds her hands in front of her with the phone and then just kind of rocks on her heels. And...
Gail, let's see if we can help you out.
Everyone
what is-
say hi to Barrymore. He's in chat.
Hi,
Hey, Barrymore.
Hi, Barrymore.
We're just waiting for one of our players to get back so we can advance the story.
Yeah. The Italian will say to Gale, "For what it's worth, I'm sorry that you're getting caught up in all of this."
And Gail, she kind of nods and she goes like, well, once all this stuff started happening, I mean, the writing was on the wall, but Dr. Hope has been very good to me, and he's been this is the best job I've ever had, so I'm loyal to him. I'm seeing whatever happens through.
Well, he's lucky to have
Make
you.
sure he gives you a really good raise after this and gets you some vacation time wherever the fuck you want to go.
I could do with some vacation time, but I also want to be here for Dr. Lazarus if he needs me. And for the record, I think it's awful what the government's doing to all of you.
Gail, you're a
Well, they haven't done anything yet, but I'm sure they will shortly.
Well, what they're trying to do to you, Dantalion. By the way, the rock group, Dead Baby, is still waiting to hear back on whether
I mean, are they good? If they're good, then Italian might consider it. But if they're garbage, then they're not worth his time.
From what I understand, they're death metal. I don't know what that really is. I don't listen to it. I'm more of a, and she kind of, she pauses and kind of looks a little flustered. I'm more of a 70s classic love song kind of person. That and like, just top 40 from the 70s. I listen to a lot of Bee Gees, I'm not going to lie.
If they have a significant following, I'll consider it. But otherwise, they're not worth my time.
They have a growing following from what I've understood from our marketing department.
Hello, here.
Mm.
Ah, yes, Dr. Hope. You have a call waiting. Allison Horowitz from Channel 7 Action News.
Perfect. I'll pick up the phone and hello.
Let me drag her over there. All right, so on your phone, you know what? Let's just go to the phone thing that I created.
By the way, I think that's so clever that you have this.
This is one of the first things I made, by the way, when I
Yeah.
created this Roll20 session, like
It's a clever device.
like 3 years ago. So you're basically FaceTiming with Allison. You see the newsroom behind her, and she's like, "Lazarus, good to speak with you. Do you have any comment you want to make this morning regarding the legislation and regarding?" Oh, hang on, my phone's updating.
Smile a little bit.
royal customer, are you?
Yeah, those updates they get you just at the strangest times.
And so she waits for a few moments, and then you see her. The phone kind of takes an odd angle as it looks like she's turning it so she can read the update.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying, "What the hell?" And you see her staring at the phone, but she's still FaceTiming you, so you can still see her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any comment on these files that just got downloaded to my phone from your cellular network?
It should be in your file section. You can go to your settings, and it'll be listed under the fourth one down. At this current moment, all I have to say is I'm shocked at the revelations I've recently found in regards to our
Legislative body.
I am
Elected officials.
I thought so much better of them, but I felt as though that this is important for everybody. There will be more news to come.
Maybe give her and Jimmy Doug a heads up to get if she wants footage to be down here.
And she's like, "Can I quote you on that?"
Yes, that's perfectly fine to quote. I'm appalled.
Would you object to me coming down there and getting an interview?
I'm a little bit busy this morning, as I'm sure you could tell, but I'm be happy to take an interview later, possibly later today, maybe tomorrow, depending. I'll get to you as soon as I can.
Very well. Thank you for speaking with me this morning.
Thank you very much. for calling, Allison.
Best of luck to everyone over there.
Oh,
And-
everyone's getting it. She'll be fine.
And with that, she hangs up.
Perfect. Looks
All right.
like they're going well.
Hang on, Minuteman. You wanted to do a power
Mhm.
stunt. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
All right. So you want to try to use your power.
Don't say what it is because I don't know if it's going to work yet.
Okay. Well, you can spend karma. You can spend karma on this. Keep in mind, it works like every other power stunt.
Yes.
You have to get at least a yellow. Except in this case, this is pretty OP. You're gonna have to get a red result on this. But you can spend karma on it. Of course, remember if you spend karma on it,
Okay.
you can apply that to the number of successes. What do you want to
Okay,
call
well,
the
I am
power
spending
stunt?
I'm calling it back from the future
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to
Wow.
Back to the Future.
Okay.
So
He's summoning Michael J.
Okay.
Fox.
yeah, okay. So I am spending karma on this, and I'm not sure if this is going to work. I mean, and I don't expect this guy. It's going to be about a short period of time. So I will go ahead and see if this will work. I don't know if it will, but
All right.
so
you did.
monstrous ability.
And you did say you wanted to spend karma.
I did say that I am spending
Okay.
karma on this. Yes.
All right. Jesus.
Well, you,
Oh.
All right, you needed a yellow.
Well.
You got. You said you're spending karma, so you have to spend at least 10. So that's 101.
Yes.
And so you guys,
Mhm.
while you're eating breakfast, while you're ostensibly pouring syrup on pecan waffles and, eating biscuits and gravy and loaves of bacon and hash browns, you see a second
Oh, great.
Minuteman appear in the room with you, right behind the actual Minuteman. And he looks alarmed. But then he looks around
And-
at all of you and he goes, "This is not how I left you."
And Minuteman is like, wait a minute. Who are you?
And he looks at you.
What's
and
going on? What's
Right.
he's cut?
Well, you did this as a. I mean, you would know what this is, Minuteman. I mean, you purposely just did it.
Oh yeah, no, but he didn't realize that this is like, he was thinking about this, like thinking that he was thinking this. He goes, wait, I thought about doing this, but he's like, and he goes, what number am I thinking of right now?
And he thinks a moment and he says,
Just
15.
That is correct. Ladies, gentlemen, I don't know. I didn't know if this was possible, but this is me.
yes, I've
From
gathered that.
how long ago? How far ahead of you are? Where did you? Are you from my past or future?
What day is it today?
I'm not sure. What is the year? Can you tell me the date? What's the date right now?
For you guys, we're gonna say it's September 3rd.
September
Tuesday?
3rd.
And he looks at his phone and he says, "No, I am from tomorrow."
Go. Do you want grits?
And he looks a little disoriented, like what the hell's going on? And he thinks and he goes, "No, I ate this morning at this table."
Okay, so the get destroyed. That's a good sign.
Well, yes, but some of you are in jail.
That's fine. That's how you overthrow a government a little bit.
Well, have you? And he looks at you, Minuteman. Have you brought me here to explain what happened in my timeline?
Well, that's the curious thing. I didn't really consciously. I was thinking about what I was doing was, and you probably know this. I was thinking of if only we had some way of knowing what would happen tomorrow after this legislation passed, like get some kind of, feedback. And then it seemed as like
Yes, information from the
it's
future
confusing
could be
for me
most
too. It's just something that I wasn't. I mean, because it could be possible right now that since you are here, where you're from may not have actually happened yet.
Well,
Or
understand
it
what
will.
has happened in my timeline may not occur in your timeline.
That is correct. Yes, that's what's explained to me by Dr. Kendra, essentially. That even if you travel back in the past, it's not exactly going to it's your past. Yeah.
Well,
But you still have memories of this event. Yeah.
yes. For me, this was yesterday, which I assume for you is today.
That is
Indeed.
yes.
All right. One thing that you should be aware of is at 10:01 a.m., two members of the Civil Defense Force, the new military wing of the Army that was created for the Omni-Human Security Act, appeared at the tower and announced they were here to arrest us. We resisted. A battle ensued in front of the tower. They were using some sort of device mounted on a tank to suppress my ability to control time. And Minuteman, this kind of clips with what you've already seen before, and you know that
Yeah. Mhm.
when you first met, some of these cats, when you guys captured Pterodon, you know that some of them were equipped with things they called chronometers.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
he goes, they also sent an attack helicopter and 6, well, including the 2 that made the announcement. It was those 2, and then there were 4 others. They were in highly advanced battle suits. Some of them were more like heavy assault, and then there were some that were just sort of regular armored troops. The larger ones, the heavy assault troops, have weaponry on them that when they hit some of our members, and he goes, well, I guess I don't have to be too secretive. They were able to arrest Scripture, Temperance, and Dr. Hope by nullifying their powers and then stunning them. They have 2 different weapons. One will nullify your powers if it hits you, and then the second one will stun you.
Interesting. What did these weapons look like?
They were mounted on they were very small cannons that were mounted on the shoulders of the larger troops.
See.
So those guys have to get hit down first.
Leave that to me.
I would recommend that. Yes, there were 4. No, pardon me. There were 3 of them, and then 3 of those regular troopers. The helicopter that they used was some sort of advanced helicopter. It had missiles on it, and it had some sort of machine gun mounted on it. Dr. Lazarus, by what he's describing, you would assume it might be like an Apache helicopter.
Flying chariot, of course.
And then he says, but the most devastating weapon they have, the one that killed you, Dantalion,
Indeed.
is that same, I don't really know what it is, but it's a little like a tank that hovers. It was the one that was putting off the suppression field that was limiting my powers, but it also has some sort of massive cannon on it that ultimately cut you in half.
How interesting.
Dr. Lazarus, before he was stunned and taken into custody, he referred to that as a quantum projection cannon.
Goodness.
In
Wow.
my timeline, where I just came from, I am about to get on a plane to go to New York to join up with the Vigilance group to try to determine the next steps. They took you to a advanced military facility, and Lazarus, that would kind of jive with the president's speech from last night, where he explained how they were creating that branch of the military, and they were going to put one in every state close to a major city. And you would think that that's some kind of holding facility now that has been set up to kind of corral the people that are resisting this.
Interesting. We should be sure to share this information with the other super teams.
So do be careful. Try to be very cautious and try not to let that horrible tank get line of sight on you, would be my recommendation.
Interesting.
That same weapon was able to take down Temperance's shield. Temperance's force field.
Okay, so the tank is the highest priority, and then the guys with the shoulder cannons.
It would seem so. We should let the other teams know that they have the ability to suppress omni-human abilities.
Those units, the ones that were suppressing and stunning, they also had flamethrowers and some form of advanced laser weaponry. That's what you called it, Dr. Hope.
Goodness. We need to be quick with this and make
Seems
sure.
they won't underestimate us then.
Well, after this happened, I monitored the news to get their reaction to it, and their polling showed that after the files were released, approval of the federal government, which was already low, went and halved itself. They used to have a 20% approval rate. Now that's down to 10%. And half of the public sees what happened as an assault on omni-human rights.
Well, we were successful on that front, at least.
Just out of curiosity, how did you escape? I mean, you say the rest of us were captured.
Or
What
killed.
made? How'd you get away?
The last two of us were Dantalion, no, it was me and Lazarus. Lazarus was the last to fall. Dantalion had already been killed, and at that point, it was only me. I didn't stick around. I made a tactical retreat.
While this is going on, I'm going to give Allison a call back and say if she can get here a little bit before 10.
And she agrees. She says, if you want to do an interview, she and Jimmy Doug can stop by.
Yeah, bring Jimmy Doug in. Make sure he's rolling.
Yes, we'll be there a little bit before 10 then. We'll say, I'll see how quickly we can move. We've got a couple of hours. There's a couple of other things I have to nail down here, but then we can be on our way.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. All right. And then Minuteman looks at you and he says, or the other Minuteman, future man, says, also very important to note, afterward, and then he disappears.
Oh, yep.
How interesting.
Well,
hopefully,
like I said, I only thought I was just thinking about maybe there was something I could do to try to give us warnings ahead of time. Give us intelligence, and
you have done all that and
actually
more,
worked.
Minuteman. I congratulate you. Quite a feat you've achieved.
Well, thank you. I'm a little unnerved by it myself. I mean, again, the way it was explained to me, it is the very fact that he came from the future and told us this is now means that timeline may not actually come to pass.
Well,
But it
then
does give
our
us
defeat will be avenged.
Well, the
Yeah.
way it works is, any little change in the timeline can produce alternate timelines. So there's an infinite number of timelines he could have come from.
Oh yes, yeah.
And what was happening in his timeline doesn't necessarily mean that it's happening in your timeline.
Right.
Right.
We just have a estimation.
Right. Because
Not
there could be yeah. So, but yeah, even though you've probably seen, yeah. But Amin Man, you can probably visibly see he's a little bit, shaken by this. He's like, oh, I didn't even, like he's amazed that was actually something that he thought about it was that capable of. It's like, oh, I guess I can actually capable of doing that. So
you continue to impress, Minuteman.
Well, but the power dampener thing. It sounds like so. It does sound like we have to take out whatever this power dampener is first and foremost.
Indeed.
Well, he described different
earliest
things.
target.
He described some kind of hover tank that can
jam Minuteman's abilities, and it has serious firepower.
And it has some sort of death cannon on it. Also, the 3 heavily armored troopers who can hit anyone with suppression weaponry, which can temporarily take away their powers and then stun them. They have stun weaponry as well. So, yeah. And an attack helicopter, just because Lazarus...
We gotta punch it.
Just because Alex had said at one point, I want to fight a helicopter.
Okay.
We're going to punch helicopters. We're going to do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
And Barrymore in chat says, gotta love multiverse.
Yep. I mean, it's a comic book, and you gotta have somebody. You gotta have a multiverse possibility.
Somewhere in an alternate universe, you guys are in an actual comic, and there's a wiki. And Minuteman from the future has been labeled Minuteman 8264.
Yep.
For some arbitrary reason.
Yeah.
All right. So, after you finish breakfast, it is 8 o'clock now. It is the moment, and the news is covering this, about how, it's the deadline, or it's the start of the window to register. They go to different cities. You do see a few scared-looking people that aren't in uniform or anything, kind of standing in line, at different offices around the country. And they replay the president's speech from last night after you guys went to bed, where he was gathered with the Senate and House leaders as he signed the legislation into law, looking distressed and saying that he hated that it has come to this, but that he has to take these steps to protect the citizenry. All right. Is there anything you guys want to be doing?
Well, we definitely need to be preparing for
Lazarus. If you have a way, sorry to interrupt. If you have a way to alert the other teams, we should let them know about this, about the weapons that we may be facing.
Yeah, I'm going.
They should know about omni-human suppression weapons.
You did exchange numbers with Pioneer and Starshine.
I'm going to keep the messages brief to them. What time is it right now?
It is just 8 o'clock.
Okay.
We have about 2 hours-ish before it goes down.
Do you think that's so? They're eventually going to get this message, so they'll know what we send and all that such.
It doesn't matter. They need to know this information if they're to have a fighting chance.
You're right. All right, I'm going to use the message and say, I'll actually type it out.
Yeah, put CDF has omni-human suppression weapons. And a really cool tank.
Yep. Yeah. A demon slayer tank is what basically.
It's pretty cool. I figured Dantalian
Yeah.
wouldn't be taken alive.
Right.
They're from the timeline where Dantalian was a punk ass bitch, so thankfully we're better than
Right.
them.
Well.
I feel like that's every
Yeah.
timeline.
No,
Omni-
I could punch a helicopter.
and hover tanks.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
How's that sound? That look good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to just send
Yep.
that. I'm not expecting a confirmation or anything like that from them.
Just get the word out.
And you get a text back from Pioneer that says, understood, thanks. And then Starshine sends a reply back, and she says, Roger.
Surprised face emoji.
Lazarus, the way that Starshine has communicated with you in person and also via text, you would assume that she has a military background of some kind.
Is there anything else we need to do to prepare?
Well, we know what they we know how many how many folks they're going to be sending.
We can't take it for
Because, you
granted.
know-
The information is approximate. We shouldn't take it as gospel.
True. But we need to if they do arrive, we need to kind of prepare a possible ambush in case, or be at the ready, like when they do hit us.
Indeed, I would like to wait either at a higher floor of the tower or on the roof. Once they get there, I could simply drop in and try to take out this tank when the fighting starts.
Yeah.
What about
I
as
think-
civilians? We also need to be ready, because there could be civilians gathering around this area, probably could be watching. We need to protect. We need to be
The CDF
sure
will
they're
likely
protected.
handle that for us.
Mm.
If they do start firing, then yes, that we should consider that our first priority to protect civilians.
Lazarus, you would assume, since they are the military, you would assume, knowing what you know of the military, that they probably will have effected some sort of cordon in the area around the building
Yeah.
by the time it
These
starts.
civilians are gonna suddenly disappear moments before.
It just occurred. Oh, something else that just occurred to me. What about Pterodon? He's still in the building, yes?
In the basement, I believe, yes.
Right. Shouldn't we kind of inform him of what's going on?
Yes, we should ask him to prepare an escape route for himself should the worst happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes, I think somebody should go. We need to tell him we need to help. We need, because he's going to be affected by this. Because if they find him here, and there's somebody, he could want to help us, or he definitely would want to try to get, find a way to get, hightail, like you said, escape.
I will speak with him then.
I
Right.
will be the one who goes and talks to him.
Very well.
I feel as though that he will at least want to fight. I think we could use the help right now.
It might tip the scales in our favor, but we should take other preparations as well.
At the very, I hope the best, and I'll make sure that he knows the same info we have. At the very least, he's someone else for them to shoot at. Come on, let's do that. I'm gonna go talk to him and let him know, see what his feelings are on the matter.
All right, so you go down to the level where his lab is set up, and you see him eating some yogurt
I imagine him sitting there with like a gallon tub of yogurt.
at like his giant desk, and sitting in his massive chair that you had made for him. And he looks up and he goes, "Alex, what can I do for you this morning? This business I've been following on the news with the government. It all feels very out of control." And you know that his name is Vincent.
Vincent Thorpe. Dr.
Vincent,
Thorpe.
Dr. Thorpe. Dr. Vincent Thorpe.
Dr. Thorpe. It's been a hectic couple days, I'll say the least. I want to make sure to say out loud that we, the Vanguard above you, have been very, very involved in this situation, and we are going to be making some changes to the government. Now,
And he kind of blinks for
NBD, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Just
a
casually
lot of
throws that out
info,
there.
so I'm starting off quick with that.
Yeah, Dr. Thorpe, we're going to topple the U.S. government. You
Yeah,
stay
feeling
here.
cute later. Might topple U.S. government.
Yeah.
Yeah. So part of that is not signing the on the Human Registration Act. Or was Registration Security Act?
Like it's OSHA.
It's the Omni-Human Security Act. Yeah, so OSHA.
It is OSHA. It's OSHA.
Oh, in this timeline, OSHA violates you.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to not be signing that, and they will be coming for us. They have soldiers and soldiers with omni-human suppressant weapons, and even a hovering tank. This is where this rebellion or resolution or whatever you want to refer to it lives or dies. I'd like if you'd be able to help me, Dr. Thorpe.
What is it you need from me?
I need you to either run some kind of distraction or join us. Some of the most dangerous are the ones with shoulder-mounted cannons. They have this. Their functionality is suppressing on the human abilities. If they are able to, do as they like, they'll pin us all down, and the tank will deal with it. If I can at least get you into the sewer so you can swing around and catch them off guard, at least grabbing one of those on the humans with the shoulder-mounted weapon. Grab one of those soldiers with the shoulder-mounted cannon. We can push and try and get these handled, and then so long as you're free, so long as you're able, helping defeat the hover tank would also be important.
I'll do what I can. How is there a way for me to communicate with you if I run into any trouble in the sewer?
So I have an extra phone.
Okay.
Give him an iPad. That's probably phone size for him.
I got this here. I'll actually take the passcode off my iPhone.
You give him one of those giant phones, that like you see in the store, and you're like, oh God, no! How am I going to fit that in my pocket?
Yeah.
Who needs a phone this large?
Yeah, I'll make sure the passcode's off, and I hand it to him. He says, "Hopefully, this should be good enough for your fingers." I think your fingers are probably still electroreceptive. They still function on the tap screen.
And he nods, and he goes, and he holds up his hand, which has massive talons on it, large claws. And he's like, I think I should be able to manage. He holds up like one finger so you can see the point on there. I'll just be very careful with it.
Good.
So you guys exchange numbers.
Yeah.
And then he's
so
like,
if text and all that such, and try and come up through one of the sewer grates or wherever you're comfortable.
I think it's kind of big for a sewer grate.
Yeah, the shoulder-mounted cannons are the priority. Either take them down or rip the cannon off of them.
I will do what I can.
Thank you, Dr. Thorpe.
Very well. I will begin to try to find an entrance into the sewer from your building. I may have to make a mess.
Make a mess. This is the time to do so.
Very well. All right. Well, good luck. I'll do what I can, and hopefully we'll come through this. Of course, we'll all be wanted, as terrorists, but...
Well, he's already wanted. It's fine.
Yeah, he's already wanted.
Sorry, yeah.
But I'll do what I can because you believed in me and gave me a second chance.
Thank you.
Good luck to you all.
All right. Are we doing the Are we getting to that point tonight?
No, we've spent way too much time.
Okay, got it. Because
we talked around in a circle for over an hour. So
That's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I like that we're all on the informed decision. We're making the perfect moves. Just because Kelsey's kind of feeling a little sick.
Yeah. So you watch as Pterodon, Dr. Thorpe, moves into the a far corner of the room where there's more room and not a lot of equipment or anything. And literally he just starts to beat the shit out of the ground. The building kind of shakes a little, but then he makes a hole that is large enough, and then he drops down to the next level. And you feel the building shake one more time, and you hear him tearing apart the lower level. And then it stops, and he drops down again. And you look down in the hole, and you see him splash down into the sewer system.
Perfect.
We need to fix that at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Actually,
maybe
no.
to actually construct some sort of large tunnel or something,
A giant manhole cover.
a big old ladder
Mhm.
like that,
or a giant elevator.
and make it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Odor yuck. All right, I'm heading back.
All right.
Dantalion will take some time to. He'll head back to Hell quickly and just make some arrangements for should he die in this battle.
All right. So Dantalion pieces out for a little
Just
bit.
for a couple minutes, maybe like 15 minutes.
And then comes back. It is now 9:50.
Mm.
The hour is upon us then.
Or pretty close to, or in at least 10 minutes. All right.
And you hear from Gail
Well-
down in the lobby. She hits her intercom and it speaks into the dining area where you guys ostensibly still are all gathered. And she says, Dr. Hope, it looks like people in black suits are ushering people away from the building and kind of clearing the streets.
Okay.
I can
It
see.
sounds like they're going to be on their way then. Gail, I recommend you heading up to the top floor. I'll make sure everything's open up for you. Stay there until we get back.
Very well. I can see from where I am. I can see the Channel 7 Action News van.
Yeah. Might as well get their assault on us on camera.
I'll head up. Where would you like me?
Stay in the conference room. Everything will be locked.
If we have like a panic room or something, yeah.
Just wait until I get back.
Very well. I'll head up to the conference room.
Okay. I'll message Dr. Droid to keep an eye on Gale, please, in case of anything.
And he messages you back and says, "I will."
Good.
And then you hear, kind of a high-pitched, what sounds like a jet, but then you realize it's actually Dr. Droid flying to the building.
Perfect.
Because he wasn't actually there.
Oh, cool.
All right, so
Nope.
we'll put Gale in the HQ along with Dr. Droid.
Okay.
All right, so
These could be our final moments before the confrontation.
I never thought that I'd be shown that hell exists, or two, be friends with a demon. But I am I'm happy to be proven wrong twice.
Indeed, to be honest, I thought little of humans before all this, but you may change my opinion yet.
Metaman, you've ignited a patriotism in me. A opportunity that things can actually get better, because they were better at some point. It's a showing that change can happen so long as we put the effort in, and I'm ready to.
I'm glad to be by your side as too, Doctor. We haven't lost just yet.
And
we're
Dr.
still,
Lazarus,
as long as we are
Dr. Lazarus, I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. He says, we still, as long as there's still breath in our bodies and blood in our veins, we live to fight. We can live to fight on another day.
And Dr. Lazarus, you get a call on your phone. You look down at your phone, and it is from Congresswoman Lynn Halsey Taylor.
Perfect. He's getting revved up and everything like that, but he's like, "Oh, there's a phone call. Hello."
Let me shift this over to the phone. And she says, Lazarus, Dr. Hope, this is your Congresswoman, Lynn Halsey Taylor.
Hi,
I,
Congresswoman, and it's just Lazarus.
I've just received word from one of my contacts in the military that the Civilian Defense Force is getting ready to make a move on you after the 10 o'clock deadline.
These actions against us obviously are discerning, especially with some recent showing, especially with some recent developments. I'd keep an eye on.
Yes, I heard about that this morning. Something about documents being downloaded to your cellular network.
Yes, yes. We're still
A lot of
looking
other
into it to
places.
see what exactly happened, but it seems that after an update, a fair number of my customers have received some interesting files regarding to the U.S. government. We're still looking into it. We're still seeing what the reason.
How political.
How odd that my staff found it actually downloaded onto the House website.
Yeah, it's quite concerning, really. We are looking into it. We have our best men on it right now.
Top men.
Unfortunately, we're a little bit busy with some triage work as we have tanks coming at us. So I'll have to get back to you. We'll see how things go. And I want to say, Congresswoman, I'm very happy I voted for you.
And she, because she's on FaceTime, and she's like, "Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and please, all of you, be careful. I can tell you up here on Capitol Hill, there seem to be a lot of nervous people this afternoon. There was this morning.
No kidding.
So I assume whatever it is you're doing is already having an effect.
I'm sure. And keep an eye on Action News. I'm sure I'll be doing an interview real soon.
All right, we will do. And again, stay safe.
Will do. All right.
All right, and then it goes off, and you are.
Is the tank here yet?
It is now. Well, remember, you guys are still inside. You
No,
guys,
I know.
Yeah.
you haven't gone down to the lobby.
Like, oh yeah, we'll be safe, all right.
Let's say,
But-
yeah, we just fight them inside.
It is, as you look at the time on your phone, it is 10:01. You hear
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Droid's voice and says, Alex, there are what appear to be armored troops out in front of the building. There are two of them. They are speaking through what looks like speakers built into their armor. I'm going to send you the feed now.
Correct.
And a camera in the corner of your dining room puts a projection into the middle of the room, and you see, you briefly see Dr. Droid for a second, and then his image switches out to one of the cameras in your lobby, looking out at the plaza in front of, or not the plaza, but like the street in front of the Heyman Tower, and you see. Hang on here. Where did I put these guys? You see two troops.
Ooh.
One of them very heavily armored. Another one also heavily armored, but smaller, in a smaller armored battle suit. And they are projecting out of the speaker, and it's a female voice. And she says, "This is General McMasters. You are wanted by the law for being in violation of the Omni-Human Security Act. You will now come out of your building and surrender to us, where we will take you to a holding facility. Any resistance will be met with force, and the charges will be upgraded to terrorism and sedition. You have 30 seconds to comply."
I'm gonna quickly kind of flip through the cameras and see if outside, if Action News is out there recording and all that, getting all this.
They look like they've been moved back.
Allison Horowitz is fighting a government person trying to push her back.
Yeah, Allison Horowitz, beating on the chest of one of these armored suits, yelling out about civil rights.
They're like wrestling her away, and she's
Yeah.
like, "No."
Mhm.
But you do see on the lobby feed, you can see the news vanishes further back.
Mhm.
Like they're moving them back, but not so far that they couldn't get footage.
Okay, cool. Do I have a way to speak out to the people out there? So is there like an intercom system that actually plays outside, like if we play music or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll kind of tap into that and respond to them through the intercom, saying, "I'm sure you've seen the information let out earlier this morning, sent to every phone in the area. I'd make sure you question: is this really the government that you wish to be fighting for, picking fights with, and bullying anyone who doesn't sign onto your lists? The U.S. government is putting on the humans as a uh, tertiary class, and are going to uh, do terrible, terrible things. Now is the time for you to walk the other way."
All right. And as you say that, you get a call on your phone,
Oh,
and it is Dr. Vincent Thorpe.
I'll give it a second. All right, hello. I'll say it through the intercom. All right, hold on a second. I'm getting another call. Hello.
And on your phone,
Like-
you see Dr. Thorpe from the sewers. He's looking at the phone, and even as he's talking to you, you see his back turned, and there is what appears to be automatic fire just hitting him in the back and bouncing off.
Whoa.
And he says, "You have to stay away from the sewers. They're all over the tunnels. They're moving in. I can see one of those larger." And then you see like a bright flash, and then the screen kind of jitters a little bit, and then it falls, and then you see him laying on his side unconscious.
Dr. Thorpe, God
Uh-oh.
damn it. He's down. Keep an eye away from the sewers. There's suppressions down there.
Mhm.
So do you wish to address them again, or should we simply prepare for the inevitable conflict?
I think I've said all I want to say. You guys got anything? We want to make sure that they're attacking us first.
I say we just we go down and say hello, so to speak.
I'm hesitant to leave the tower unguarded with Gale upstairs.
Well, you left her with Dr. Droid, or you told Dr.
Okay.
Droid to watch out for Gale.
So we can go back and we can go down into the pit and try and go save Dr. Thorpe.
It will be more difficult. They wouldn't be able to maneuver that tank of theirs into the sewers, and we know that they're already
That
attacking
is true,
Dr.
yeah.
Thorpe there.
You would,
However, Dr. Thorpe is a wanted
Right.
fugitive. If we help him, this may not go well for us.
George, what did you say?
you would assume by what you saw on the phone that one of those heavily armored troopers, the ones with the shoulder cannon, probably incapacitated him.
Okay.
And that at this point they're probably taking him into custody.
All right, he's already gone then. We'll have to save him later once we take these guys down. But for now, let's do that.
Very well. Yeah, they're telling we'll start heading to the elevator. I'm ready.
As
Mhm.
as you are as you're you guys are heading towards the elevator, Dr. Lazarus, you get another call on your phone. Give me just a second here. I'm all about the phone today.
It's a cool feature.
Yep.
It's a clever use of the of the different screen switching and such.
Oh yeah.
You receive a call asking if you would like to update your car's extended warranty.
So, you get a call, and it's Dr. Droid. and he says, Isaac, are you there?
Yes.
Or pardon me, Lazarus.
Yes. Dr. Droid.
Gale and I are fine in the headquarters area. A friend of ours in Congress, and you take that to mean
Congresswoman. Yes.
the Congresswoman, has managed to get some information on these suppression weapons that Minuteman's other self explained about us. So these suppression weapons will stop you from using any powers. It's not indefinitely. It's going to be, from what I'm reading from these schematics, how long you are without your powers depends on how effective the weapon hits you. But per the schematics, it is just a temporary suppression of powers, but it does leave you vulnerable. And it looks like they are meant to work in tandem. So they're most likely going to try to hit you and depower you and then stun you. But it won't have any effect, for example, against any sort of innate powers, such as physical strength or any armor that you might be wearing.
Dantalion, you're gonna be the one. You just dive those shoulder cannon guys. All right. Let's sure to keep uh the hover tank in mind, but try and pull those guys in. Make sure that they are where we need to be because
They will be my first priority, Doctor.
thank you very much. Everyone else, I don't think we have any other. I don't think we have anyone else with innate strength.
We do. I do know how to. Here's the thing. I do know how if they depending on how heavily armored they are. If I could get a hold of one of their weapons, I could probably try to use one of them against them. I do know have new. I do have some knowledge of riflery, but
You'd assume from what Dr. Droid told you, it's not going to be that effective
Mhm.
on using it again. Like if you get a suppression weapon, it's not going to work against them because they're wearing armored suits.
Also, they're probably just regular
Oh,
people.
okay, right. I just know if it was like symbol, if they were like stun gun, but they were like also stun if they were like stun guns or something like that.
Yeah, so these weapons are meant to like depower you. For example, like let's say they hit Temperance and Temperance, fails to check against it,
Mhm.
then suddenly Temperance is going to be without her force field for X amount of rounds.
Oh, okay.
And then once they're
All right.
depowered and ostensibly they can't do any more damage, then they would be stunned.
Okay.
All right. Oh, so it only works on okay, but at least try to we need to get at least try to get these weapons away from out of their hands at least.
I mean, it's up to y'all however y'all want to play it. We'll go back over
Just
to
beat the
how.
crap out of all of them.
All right,
Knock them
so
out before they have a chance to do anything.
you're in the elevator. You
Mhm.
you get into the lobby. You
What song is
see
playing on the ride down?
Billy Joel's "Don't Go Changing,"
Oh, classic.
and
Oh,
right.
you get to the lobby.
there you go.
You get to the lobby, and the doors open. Of course, the lobby doors face the glass front of that building on the first floor, and you see those same two troopers that you saw earlier. Let's actually, you know what? Let's just go to the handy
Mhm.
map.
Yeah, let's good. Let's do it.
So
Oh.
this is where you are as you come through the front doors. You see those two troops over
Mhm.
here. Lazarus, from where you are. Actually, hang on. It may be. Everyone from. So from the corner of the building, Dantalion, Minuteman, and Lazarus, you can see
Mm-hmm.
further down the street. Oh, hang on here. Damn it. There we go. You can see some sort of tank that's hovering.
Oh.
You can also
smaller than
see
I thought.
a helicopter that is now making its way down the street to the west.
Tank.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Oh, we're going for it. Okay.
Let's
cool.
go back inside.
And
Forgot
as you
my
guys exit, you hear again through the speaker on this armor, General McMaster's voice, and says, "Very wise of you to ease hostilities and come willingly. It'll look good once you face trial." And then she says, "Arrest them." And these two guys start
Before
to move
you
forward.
before you take, hold on. Before you come in, do you have any kind of? I believe you have to have what's called a warrant of our arrest, correct?
Yes, a warrant has already been issued for your arrest.
We have to see the warrant, actually. Okay, hold on, real quick. Where is Allison and
They are
Presumably off
further.
screen.
Yeah, they're further off this way. They can see you, but they're down this street. They're you can't see them on the map, but they're off down this way.
Got it. Well, we're not. First off, we're not signing that registration, and second off, we're not coming with you. That's just how it's going to be.
Countless atrocities have been committed in the name of order. I've seen it many times over throughout my life, and they all begin just like this.
The demon concerned about human rights. I love that.
Well, he knows about human rights violations.
Yeah.
He's seen a thing or
He's
two.
right violator. He's the one who knows. He can
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
through the speakers, you again hear General McMaster's voice, and she says, "Very well. I'm sorry it has come to this. Sergeant, you and your men, you have your orders. Arrest them for sedition. They are now considered terrorists by the United States government. Use any means necessary." And this guy raises his arm, and you see what looks to be some kind of flamethrower attachment on it. I want everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
I probably just gonna be held on for next week, right?
Yeah, we're just getting initiative down right now.
Gotcha.
Do.
Click on my
Okay.
token, hit the roll,
Here we are.
bringing up the rear. Nice. Roll the 2.
12. Oh, that's
I'm
pretty.
bringing up the
That's
rear.
there you go.
Oh wait, no, you're bringing up.
Nope,
The rear.
yeah, you still have a
Yikes.
bigger bonus
Oh.
than me.
Ooh, we got a roll off.
I would have liked that.
We got a roll off between here. It looks like.
They're already gonna flamethrower us? That's the easy violation of Geneva Convention right there.
I know, right? It's like, yeah, it's like you would come in peace.
Should we
You
use
could
regular
we're
weapons
gonna
that are
burn you at
approved?
risk.
It's like no. Let's use the ones that are specifically illegal.
Nah.
Let's
just
use the
do
ones
that
that's
now.
only
Let's
gonna
use
work
it.
on 4/5 of them.
Yeah, there you go. It's. Oh, since we both rolled the same initiative, editor in chief, do I have to do a roll off or anything? or-
I need you to calm down and give me a minute. All right, we're
He's
gonna
got a
get,
lot of moving parts here.
we're gonna get to it. All right, there's a lot of stuff I'm having to do right now.
3 12s in there. Good.
And listen, I'm telling you, someone's spine might break. It's just gonna happen.
Please try and break the tank.
I am gonna be breaking a lot of things. Don't worry.
All right, so the first roll I made, that 12, was for the the 10. I'm sorry, was for the heavy assault guys, who are actually called suppression troopers. And then these
Interesting name.
guys
Mm-hmm.
are 12. All right, now I gotta add you guys in. Give me a moment,
Sorry, take your time, George.
and then we'll worry about roll-offs. I swear to God, I'm getting there.
No
It's all
worries.
good. We get to so who's gonna do the punching of a helicopter? Probably me, just because I can fly and have super strength. So I'm just make sure as soon as I punch that helicopter, we're gonna.
the punching this time. Why don't you get in there? All right. Just
How hard can Temperance punch?
How hard can
It's gonna break her arm punching a helicopter.
All right, let's see.
God damn, we are in a super open area.
That's okay. I'm just gonna use
Mhm.
Hellfire. I'm just gonna blast everything in this area. I'm going nuclear.
They might be resistant to fire damage since they are using flamethrowers and in battle suits.
Oh, I got to roll for temperance. Hang on here.
Sure.
How's
They can melt the ground under them, stop them from moving.
how's Ashley doing, by the way?
Last time I talked to her, she's still got a lot of stuff going on that's keeping her from playing right now. She
Unfortunate.
offered to like quit, you know. She's like, if you need to write me out, that's fine. And I told her, I said, well, you know, if that's really what you want. And then she was like, well, give me a little bit to think about it. And then I didn't hear back from her.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
Temperance is the one that gets cut in half in this timeline.
she is invited to play D&D and all that. Like, I just want to make sure to say it out loud. Like, I don't want to not invite anybody. Yeah, even if Neil suddenly shows up for Star Wars, he's more than welcome to play.
If that's the thing he shows up for, I'm gonna be surprised. But I'll be a happy surprise.
All right, Lazarus got a 6.
Mm-hmm.
If he shows up, he will have a Gonk Droid character ready to go.
That is so
Aw.
shitty. That is so shitty, Alex. You got you rolled a 1, but you still got luckily you got a +5 too because of your
Yeah,
high
thank God.
your high intuition.
The 12
But
is
still,
for
Jesus.
scripture, I believe. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And so scripture. Hang on. What did scripture roll?
12.
12.
Damn.
Okay.
Too quick.
All right. So let's put everything in descending order. Temperance obviously will go first with the 15.
Mhm.
Scripture, Minuteman, and the CDF assault troops all tied at 12. So we need a roll off of 1d10. I'll do one for the troopers. Oh God. Okay. They rolled a 4.
Okay,
Oh.
so it's gonna be yeah.
I rolled a 2.
Wait, I don't know why. Who rolled the 8?
Me.
That's under editor in chief.
I don't know who rolled that 8. Yeah, that's you.
You rolled the 8.
Oh wow, it rolled 3 times for me. I only put it in once. All right, so we're just gonna go with the 4. That was the first one they did. And then who got the 1?
You. That's also under you.
Why did it roll initiative again? I didn't click that from the sheet. All right, so 4, and then Minuteman got a 2, and then roll for scripture. Roll 1d10 for scripture, Alex.
You got it. /R space D10. 1.
Okay,
Oh well.
so we'll put the CDF at the top, and then scripture underneath Minuteman. All right, then there's a 10 and an 8 and a 6. We have 2 4s. So Dantalion, roll off between you and the helicopter to 1d10.
Do
Helicopter
4.
got a 2. All right, so it'll be Dantalion. It'll be the order it's in. Dantalion first, and the helicopter. And that is where we will start next session and see how well you guys do.
Great. And exciting.
Hopefully better than our
Alright.
other timeline.
Hopefully better.
Hopefully better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully so. Where
Hopefully
I gotta
better than
say-
the darkest
yes.
timeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
Well, I mean,
by,
is that the darkest timeline?
yeah.
Could be worse.
All right. So,
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions?
How does a mutual fund work?
I don't.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a blast.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be really cool. I get to fight the government and still be a good guy. That's the dream.
That is
I'm surprised because here's the thing. I'm surprised that one thing I did actually worked because I was thinking,
That was super clutch, yeah.
Well, you rolled a 91 on it, and I was like, dude, yeah, you know what? Let's this way you can get a heads up. It would have also been cool to see you guys
Right.
surprised by it and be like, oh shit. But this was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool thing. I just thought I was like, yeah, this would be really
Yeah.
cool. Just have another Minuteman show up and be like, oh, okay. And be.
Yeah. And then because the way it was going to be working, I think it's telling a little bit about the future, but it's not going to be the future because the way
Possible future
timelines work in this game work. Yeah, but I just kind of figured because I was toying with their ideas, because that was something in my back pocket I was going to be having that I would have for for quite a while. Like I was planning on doing it so it would show up in the middle of a fight, and as a kind of a, an A like this, almost because if you watch
well, the thing
something
is
where
I'm not,
It's harder to
I'm not,
pull off mid-fight.
Yeah, I'm not going to let NPCs join your fight. It's y'all.
Right,
This
yeah.
is why
Okay.
Dr. Vincent Thorpe got taken out in the sewer. Because
Yeah.
it's
That's
y'all's story,
yeah.
not y'all's story, and whatever NPC you guys want, to kind of back you up.
That's fair.
will know.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
No kidding.
It's the same way I played it in D&D when y'all were trying to get people to fight for you. Although every now and then, narratively it makes
Mhm.
sense. But I always
Right.
tell other players in my games, I'm like, no, you're not going to have NPCs come in and help you in combat.
Right. I think if it
Right,
does
because you want
happen,
us to
it
be the
should
heroes,
do
literally
off,
the heroes of our story.
off screen somewhere. Have them
Yeah.
help us.
Mhm.
Otherwise,
This is why, while you guys are having this fight, the other two super teams are about to be engaged in their own struggle against these CDF.
Right.
Also, one thing I
Mhm.
should note that I didn't say before we ended the session, these troops that you see,
Mhm.
they're, you know that they are what's called the CDF, the Civilian Defense Force, which has
Yep.
a nice name to it, oh, they're looking out for it if you're a regular person. It's all propaganda. But they also
Oh, sure.
they
Yeah.
also have symbols on their armor that looks like a blue circle with green on it, like the planet Earth,
Mhm.
that has stars around it. It has
Mhm.
12 stars on, 6 on either side, and it has the word
Mhm.
rain written on it.
I'm gonna guess they
Interesting.
didn't build these for omni-humans. They didn't build these to suppress omni-humans. I think they were building them for something else, and it just happened to be
Something
convenient
else.
use.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
aliens.
It gives you
Okay.
it gives you another puzzle piece.
Well, let's be sure to
Interesting.
we'll rip the
Okay.
puzzle piece to smaller pieces. That way we can, just break them apart, and we'll ask the pieces what's going on.
Oh,
The first person that's going to get arrested
is this?
is your congressman.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
we'll do
Ooh,
a
is this
prison
gonna
break.
be? Is this gonna be like? Is this gonna be like something like go? Is this like some kind? I wonder if it's some kind of Hydra Illuminati kind of setup. That'd be interesting.
Don't stop giving them ideas.
Oh,
We already have to fight the U.S. government.
I know, right? Well, no, I mean it's this is cool. I mean it's now we're gonna get into oh now it's because now it's up part because now it's kind of getting into because now it's oh yeah now it's gonna get it's kind of it's not quite civil war kind of stuff but
It's
pretty
Pretty shades of
Next
It's
week,
yeah.
Next week, the news is going to carry, someone at the World Economic Forum saying, you're going to eat bugs and own nothing, and you'll like it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
looking forward to it. Next week is helicopter punching week.
Yes. Helicopter
Mhm.
punching, tank punching.
It took
Put
us
it
12
on my
sessions to
calendar.
get
Yeah,
there.
these guys seem pretty tough. I feel
Yeah.
like I can ragdoll around with my.
Flip the tank over. Then
hello.
it can't flip itself back over. Just pick it up and flip it over, and then
Thanks to everybody.
Well, it also
in
depends on
chat.
how tough these guys are.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Barrymore,
no
and
kidding.
everybody
Yeah.
who came by
Thanks
to
for
see
watching,
us.
guys.
We appreciate it. We're gonna
You
go ahead
guys are
and
the
end
real
stream.
heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Barrymore.